The invitation was embossed in silver, a weightless thing that felt like an anchor in my hands. My daughter, Chloe, was getting married. The photo on the front showed her and Ben, her fiancé, silhouetted against a sunset, all youthful hope and forever promises. My chest swelled with a pride so fierce it ached. For 25 years, my greatest role, my only non-negotiable title, was Dad. When she was 6, she'd asked me to walk her down the aisle at her wedding, to her teddy bear, Mr. Barrington. I'd used a towel for a veil and a hallway runner for an aisle. "You're my best man, Dad," she'd whispered, her small hand trustingly in mine. Now the real thing was here. I'd already bought a new suit. I'd been practicing my father of the bride speech in the car for weeks. I knew the exact spot on her cheek I would kiss before placing her hand in Ben's. 2 weeks before the wedding, she came over for dinner. She was fidgety, playing with her pasta rather than eating it. "Everything set for the big day, sweetheart?" I asked, pouring her more water. "Almost," she said, not meeting my eyes. "Dad, about the ceremony, the walk down the aisle." My heart did a little happy flip. "Don't you worry. I've got my best shoes polished. I won't trip, I promise." "It's not that." She took a deep breath, and the air in the room suddenly felt thick. "It's just, I've been thinking. Mark has been such a huge part of my life for the last 15 years. He helped pay for college. He was there when my heart got broken the first time. He's been a rock for Mom." A cold dread began to trickle down my spine. "Mark is a good man," I said carefully, the words tasting like ash. "He is, and I don't want him to feel excluded." She finally looked at me, her eyes pleading for understanding. "So, I've decided I want both of you to walk me down the aisle." The relief was immediate, but short-lived. "Okay," I said slowly. "We can do that. One on each arm. It'll be nice." But she shook her head, a single tear escaping. "No, not like that. I want Mark to walk me the first half. And then, at the pew, I want you to step in and walk me the rest of the way to the altar." The world stopped. The ticking of the kitchen clock became a deafening gong. She was going to give him the prime position. The first view. The walk from the back of the church, where all the guests turn, where the music swells, where the groom's breath catches in his throat. I was the handoff. The second step. "Chloe," I began, my voice hoarse. "I know it's unconventional, Dad, but please understand. It's my way of honoring you both. You gave me life. You're my foundation. But Mark, he helped build the house, you know." I didn't know. I knew about the mortgage he paid, the vacations he funded, the stability he provided after my messy divorce from her mother. I had never been absent, but I'd been on the periphery, the weekend dad, the holiday dad. Mark was the day-to-day. I looked at my daughter, my Chloe, and saw the little girl who used to think I hung the moon. I saw the woman she'd become, trying desperately to be fair. How could I fight against her kindness? How could I say that her fair solution felt like a public demotion? So, I swallowed the rock in my throat, forced a smile that felt like a crack in porcelain, and said the only words I could. "Of course, sweetheart. Whatever makes you happy." The wedding day dawned bright and clear. The church was a sea of white lilies and hopeful faces. I stood near the front, my new suit feeling like a costume. Mark was with Chloe at the back of the church, ready for the procession. The opening notes of Pachelbel's canon filled the air. The congregation rose as one. And there they were. Mark, beaming with a proprietary pride, and Chloe, my little girl, of vision and ivory silk, her arm linked through his. They began the slow, measured walk. I saw the guests smiling, some nodding in approval at this modern, blended family arrangement. I saw her mother dabbing her eyes, her face a mask of pure joy. Every step they took felt like a mile. Every second was a lifetime. I watched as he leaned in and whispered something to her, and she laughed, a beautiful, nervous sound that used to be reserved for me. I was a spectator at my own daughter's most important walk. They finally reached the midpoint. Mark stopped. He turned to me, his expression gracious, victorious. "She's all yours, Robert," he said, his voice low. Chloe turned her luminous, tear-filled eyes to me. She let go of Mark's arm and reached for mine. Her hand was trembling. As my fingers closed around hers, a strange calm settled over me. This wasn't the walk I had dreamed of, but it was the one I had. The music swelled again. We took our first step together, and then the second. And in that short, final walk, something shifted. The eyes of the guests were no longer on Mark, they were on us. On me and my daughter. I held my head high. I squeezed her hand. When we reached Ben, who was waiting with a lovesick awe, I didn't just place her hand in his. I held them both. I looked at Chloe, my gaze steady and full of a love that no ceremony, no stepfather, could ever diminish. "Take care of my girl," I said to Ben, my voice clear and strong. Then I turned to her, leaned in, and kissed her exactly on the spot I had planned on her cheek. "I love you, Dad," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "Thank you for understanding." In that moment, I truly did. It wasn't about who walked first or last. It was about who was there at the end, to give her away and to welcome her into the next chapter. The sting of being second faded, replaced by the profound, unshakable truth that I was, and always would be, her first father. And as I took my seat, watching her exchange vows with the man she loved, I knew that no one could ever walk away with that.